Hola, ¿qué tal a todos de este
Hola.
lado del micrófono y de la pantalla? Les saluda Leo Moreno para Depósito Sonoro, llevándoles ya regularmente entrevistas con talentos de vanguardia nacionales e internacionales. Y ahora tenemos el gran placer de estar conversando nada más y nada menos que con Miles Dupir Gagnon,
Hola.
líder de la banda canadiense Hippie Hourrah. How are you, Miles?
I'm good. How are you?
Everything good,
Hey,
man. Just
yeah.
checking out the band and preparing for the interview. And
Good.
thank you for your time. First, we are the Depósito Sonoro, a media here, a musical media here in Mexico City,
Oh, thank you.
and it's great to talk to you, Miles. Let's start first with this.
Yeah.
Would you trust to them your sons? That's how your explanation or your description in Spotify begins
Really?
as a rhetoric question, you know? Would you trust them your sons?
Yeah. Well, I
And I
think it's
yeah,
it's a bit sarcastic. We have this writer Ralph,
yeah,
who composed the lyrics with Cedric, the singer,
yeah,
basically
yeah,
mostly.
yeah.
And yeah, it's a bit sarcastic because we're sometimes we can be a bit of a bad boys, even though we're called EP Hourrah. But no, we're
Yeah,
we're not we're nice bad boys.
yeah, I know that it's maybe I understand perfectly, Miles. It's like a statement of what it means for you, the energy that you have as a band. Why the
Yeah.
name, Miles? Hippie
The
Hura.
name actually comes from it's a bit of at first it was a bit of a joke, and it comes from the Jacques Dutronc song, and
Okay.
it's Cedric the singer who had the idea at first, and I guess we were all a bit unsure of it, and it just grew on us. It doesn't really have any deep meaning other than we thought it was funny, and yeah, it has a lot of sense in that way.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe it keeps or it gets in the mind of the people because it's easy to remember in a
Yeah.
way. It's playful, but that doesn't mean that the music is not profound or the work is not profound, Miles. How is the creative process of Hippie Hooray? How do you create a new track?
I
Usually
think
how that works, man.
first of all, I think every song has its own story, I'd say. So it's all different. Sometimes Cedric brought some stuff, sometimes it was me, sometimes it was Gab. But mostly me and Gab have a studio in Montreal, so we kind of just work. I mean, we just get in the studio and try out some stuff, and it all depends on the each song, I would say. But we for this album we had a bit more of an idea where we wanted it to go. So we tried to focus on that. But yeah, and we for sure, I mean, we try to make it a bit psychedelic or edgy, in our way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Exposition Individual,
Yeah.
the album from this year. Your debut album was Homonymous Hippie Hura, check 2021. So, guys, Miles, sorry,
It's
what
all
would you
good.
say? What would you say would be like the dynamics of the trio regarding uh, your view about what happens now in the world? Because do you
Uh,
also tend to take your narratives maybe to involve a little bit of the world, or just maybe the fun and the magic and the and positive energy of the music?
yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think we clearly focus on that when we do music, but I mean, we
Yeah,
talk about it within each other, and I think clearly well, I'll talk for me, it's like the music, with everything that's happening that's so dark in the world. I try to focus on the positive, and it's a way of, I mean, when we do shows and people enjoy it, and I try to make it maybe, it sounds maybe stupid, but to maybe forget about it in some way, to just focus on some other stuff which are real. But at the same time, sometimes you're asking yourself, well, it's just music, it's just so much more important. But in so far with what I've worked in, it's always been separated. I've never was into trying to explain something, in that way. I don't know if
yeah,
it's
yeah. I get
hard
it
to explain,
perfectly.
but
I don't know. I follow you, man. Thank you.
yeah.
What was for Miles maybe the main influence in your life, Miles, when you were, or your musical awakening when you were a kid, when you were
Yeah.
young? What was, with which music was that moment that you said maybe when you were little in your dad or mom's
Yeah.
house or whatever, and you said,
Well,
"Wow, this is what is this? This is what I want to do
yeah.
with my life."
Well, I'm lucky to have the parents I had, and my mom especially. She like I'm named Miles after Miles Davis, right? So
Oh, that's really nice.
so I mean I was always around with music that was just like what the hell. I remember being 7 years old, my mom was cleaning the house and she'd put some like Coltrane up the house. And to be honest, when I was a kid, I was a bit annoyed at it sometimes, but she would listen to weird music all the time, you know. So I would
Uh-huh.
say mostly jazz, funk stuff, but I mean everything. Yeah. Like all
That's,
kinds of music. I
well,
personally, yeah, I
man,
was born to that. Yeah.
that's great, Miles. That's a great reference. You know, you grew up in your house listening
Yeah.
to the greats of the jazz, and you are
Yeah.
named after one of the most important musicians in the world.
Yeah.
You as a drummer, Miles,
Yeah.
favorite drummer in history?
I'd say Tony Williams.
Oh, okay, okay,
I
okay,
mean, I love Steve Gadd. I love, there's
okay.
so many, you know. I love Vini Colaiuta, even he's really kind of like in the like fusion world a bit. I mean,
Yeah,
there's so many. But yeah, Steve Gadd too is this is hard to get over him. This is there's so many good drummers, but there's not a lot with like the attitude, you know. I mean, there's a lot still, but there's some good
yeah,
drummers that I don't. I really like Antonio Sanchez too. That's Mexican.
yeah.
I
He
love
did
that guy.
this,
Who did the
this,
music for
the music for Birdman, right?
Birdman? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
there's so many, you know. I think, yeah.
Oh,
But
with those,
Tony Williams hard to beat. You know, there's this record of him live in Paris is like with Miles Davis. Actually, he's 17 years old, right?
yeah, yeah.
There's a drum solo of 25 minutes, and it's hard. To, it's hard to beat. Change
You still
the
have a lot of years ahead of you, man.
yeah.
Just gotta keep the good work. Uh,
Exactly. 17 years old now.
how would you describe Miles Hippie Hourrah in to the people who haven't listened to it?
Um, I think it's kind of an experience. It depends on the live and the I mean, yeah, we try to do what we hard to describe. I mean, it's it's psychedelic experience, I would say a bit. Um,
Yeah,
but there's also lots of colors to it, and yeah, I think there's a lot of colors, and you'll I think there's a journey you can experience when you listen to it. Yeah,
yeah. You
and we
said a
try
lot
to
of
have
colors.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great because it feels really light. You know, like the attitude of the music, even though it's profound. And you, as a creative, it feels like you are just here, not just to, but you are here to enjoy what you do, what you love as a passion. When Miles
Mhm.
is not doing music, take music aside, who is Miles, man?
Uh, Good question. I mean, I try to improve every day as a human and care about what's going on in the world, but it's hard to put music aside because that's really what I, the only thing I mean, I focus on all the time. So it's a good
It's
question.
difficult.
Yeah,
Well, maybe
I'll think
there's no
about it.
answer.
I'll tell you when we come to Mexico. I'll think
That's
about it.
great, man. Of course. I mean, the music is amazing. You never been to Mexico, I know.
Yeah, I've been, well, not with that
Well,
band,
not
but yes,
not
yes,
not with the band, but you've been
yes,
before as
yes.
a tourist or what?
No, I played music with Elephant Stone and Random Recipe. I don't know if you know that band, but we
Okay,
toured in Mexico a few times, twice maybe. But I was just
okay,
a hired musician. I wasn't part of the.
a mercenary.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. You didn't get involved in the composition, maybe of the music or the
No, but
concept. You just
Elephant Stone, I was. I don't know if you know that band, but
come again.
Elephant Stone.
No, but I'm gonna check it out. And the
Yeah,
other one you said is
Random Recipe. It's more
Random
like hip hop.
Recipe.
Yeah.
Elephant Stone, and Random Recipe. And that's great because, we love to always listen to new music. Random Recipe. That's a really, really nice name. And
Yeah.
in France, man, which music nowadays, which is, sorry, in Canada, sorry. Which music from Canada,
Mm.
contemporary, would you
Mm.
recommend to our listeners? Which band from Canada it makes you go wild? What do you love
I
from
really
there?
like well, I'll stick up for Quebec in French. I'd
Yeah.
say Jimmy Hunt is really amazing. I don't know if
Okay.
you heard of him. There's Corridor. Um, well, that's Anglo, but really love Soons. I don't know if you heard of them. They're from Montreal.
Yes, of course they have.
I mean, there's so many good stuff happening. This band called La Sécurité, really good.
La Security,
But
no, I don't know it.
there's
Okay.
there's so many good bands. It's crazy, especially Montreal. It's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff happening. Yeah,
I've been there. You were born in Montreal. You are originally
yeah.
from
Born
Montreal, the
and
three of you
raised. Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a huge cosmopolitan city. Of course, I've been there 3 times, and I love that. And they have obviously their own rules, but there's regarding maybe ganja or marijuana. It was
Mhm.
something special for me because you could be smoking wherever you want to go. But
Yeah.
the special thing, wherever you want to smoke, but the special thing was, and that I got that here, is that you can do it, but you gotta be walking. You gotta be in transit,
Oh yeah.
not just standing. Because if
Right.
you're standing, it creates these, bomb circles,
I
or
didn't even know that about that.
that's amazing, man. But the point is, it's a really cosmopolitan city. There's
Yeah.
all kinds of people. So I think that maybe that has to do something uh, with your concept, or maybe your essence in a way. Would you think that?
Um, maybe. I mean, as a maybe in some way, as a freelancer when I was a young 20s, I would
Uh-huh.
get hired to play all sorts of music, like African stuff. I'll talk for myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know Gab too, the guitar player.
yeah.
Uh, so yeah, we played gigs with like lots of different styles all the time. That's what's Montreal used to be even more that way, I'd say. So maybe in that way, but it's a good question because like consciously, I don't think we thought about that at all. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And there's a lot of pride regarding the origins in Montreal. I think so, because of the language, because this like
Mhm.
own culture. So you ever think, guys, maybe you are not the writer of the narratives, but to write in English, because it's great to keep it in French, of course.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not the writer, so but I have other. I'm happy of having a just a French project. I think it has a lot of it sounds Cedric is able to make it sound natural, so there's nothing wrong with that. But maybe one day we'll do one or two English songs on. But for now, we're just focusing on French, yeah, because it's natural for us to do it to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, no, and that's great because enough of the English. There's a lot of it.
Exactly.
So
But
I would
when we go to France, they really don't understand. Like they're amazed about because they all do sing in
yeah, yeah,
English, and we're all
yeah.
like, "Why?" They have this big accent, when they say it. But
Yeah,
it's a
I can even.
cultural thing, I guess. It's for us in
Yeah,
Quebec, there's so many styles of music in French, so
that's
it's just
great, man.
natural. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the diversity of it. If I'm going to Quebec soon, man, which
Yeah.
will be the place to be to listen music? Which would you say, Leo? You gotta go to
Uh,
these places.
It's funny because actually Cedric, the singer, is the owner of the bar. But I would say Esco. There's Esco Gift.
Okay,
There's bands
okay,
there all the time, and
okay,
there's Kid Brun by it. There's bands there all the time as well. There's like two venues that are really close by, and there's shows there almost every night. So, but there's a few, yeah. Maybe the Ritz. There's lots of good shows as well.
okay. The Reds.
The Ritz. It's mostly bands on tour.
Yeah,
Esco and Kid it's maybe more local bands or yeah, those
that's
are.
great.
But yeah, what's nice about Montreal is everything is close by. You don't need to take a
Yeah,
an hour and a half taxi to go.
Yeah, I can
It's
remember.
literally 5-10 minutes. Everything was close by.
I was checking your info, guys, and also I found something really interesting that says in the descriptions of your music that you are guys that pretend that maybe they don't care, but they start playing like a clock with really dynamic riffs
Okay.
and crazy music. So obviously, maybe pretending that you don't care, but obviously you do care at 100% because the music is the most important thing, right? Maybe it's
Yeah,
just
it's
the
mostly it's more about it's not about not caring. It's just about there's some stuff we really don't care about that some
yeah.
bands do care about, I would say. But mostly in the end we do care about the music. But like there's some songs that are open, like as an example, and we just jam through it and we don't care that we don't know how long it's gonna be and what's gonna happen. And that way we don't care. But it was decided that way, so we do care in the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
great, man.
like we just we want to keep the improvised the vibe in the band, I would say.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
can look like we don't care, but I don't know. And
I get.
sometimes it happens when we see people that don't like something, we just keep going just to be annoying. That could, which that gets,
maybe maybe we found already the headline for this article.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
if we see that people don't like it, we just keep playing.
No, but I mean that's just for me. That's not
Yeah,
good.
nah, I get it, man. I follow you. Great, thank you, thank you. Uh, Man, your latest work, Exhibición Individual, it's a conceptual album based on the Quebecois painter Jacques Hood to Beast. How
Yeah.
did you come to that? It was idea from one of you who is fan, maybe because of the of the fine arts. How did
Oh,
you get to that and to dedicate a whole
yeah.
work?
Oh, it's a
How it
funny
was?
story because like we
Yeah,
started working on the music and
yeah,
then Alex, the percussion player who plays with us live shows,
yeah,
his
yeah.
mother,
I've seen your setup at the KAP live video. I mean,
yeah,
you're a trio, but you are
yeah,
accompanied by other
yeah,
musicians. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And Alex, his mom is a close friend to the Urtubis family, and so we
Uh-huh.
had access to those paintings. It was kind of a hazard. I don't know how to say in English. Kind of, it wasn't planned or anything.
Okay, okay,
And to be honest, I'm not sure how 100% it went by, but we just looked at the paintings and then it was kind of just a connection because it's just the kind of art that we already were always into. And
okay.
we decided it's mostly about the lyrics, I guess, but like I guess it influenced us in some ways throughout the process in the studio and everything. But yeah, so like it's I mean,
It,
most of the lyrics are based on his life and some paintings but yeah,
that's really great because these artists, uh, really vibrating, a lot of colors
it's
and
amazing.
abstract
Very
work, right?
psychedelic actually too. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it makes a lot of sense, man. Uh, you are gonna be playing obviously this work. What are the plans soon? What are you doing now, guys? Are you uh, planning maybe a tour or maybe in Canada?
We have one show this week actually for M from Montreal, in
Okay,
Montreal. And I think after that we might in January be working on some EP, 2 songs. And
okay,
I think we don't have much coming up in the next weeks, but there was I think some dates in the UK. Um, in Hey boy, I'm not good at that. I think it's April. Not sure. But we don't have
sorry.
much for a
Okay,
while. Yeah. Oh,
okay. Can you listen to me there, man?
yeah, you're cutting off.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, but I did listen to you.
Yeah.
I did listen to it. Thank you, man. And so you're going to be Miles. stranded in a deserted island and you cannot do anything about it.
Okay.
You're gonna have, water and food for
Okay.
your living or your whole life, and you cannot have anything material except for the whole musical complete catalog of one artist.
Oh boy.
Which one is this artist?
Wow. Good question. I don't know. I just want to say Jimi Hendrix, but damn it, I don't know why.
Oh
so,
man, that's a
so
great
badass.
answer.
Like might as well just live a badass life on the island and have some parties. So you're alone, put some Jimi Hendrix.
And you feel really, really good accompanied, right?
Exactly.
Man, we're gonna start finishing the interview. Thank you very much
Thank,
for your time,
thank you,
Miles.
man.
We can find you as Hippie Hooray in all social network and the work. Obviously, you have been doing a really cool uh, proposal with your music. So, any message would you like to send to the Mexican audience that's gonna be checking you and getting to know the band maybe for the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
time, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we just hope to go to Mexico, especially because we love it there and it's cold here. Uh,
Yeah.
but also, yeah, I just hope everybody enjoys the record.
Thank you very much, Miles, for your
Thanks, man.
time, man. The best
Cheers.
of success, and hope we
Thank
can do
you.
this conversation
Yeah, yeah, let's keep in
face
touch.
to face.